So I am by no means a professional photographer. I'm an amateur at best, and I've found my niche sort of in the cannonball community and just this crazy fraternity in just taking my camera somewhere, just taking pictures of the events. I don't do it for money. I don't care about money. It's something I enjoy doing. It's for fun. And at the end of every event, it's just here's the Google Drive link. If you use a picture, that's great. If you don't, whatever. Because usually they have a professional photographer hired. But just being able to go there and take the pictures is great. But getting to that point was not easy. It started out with just every week going to Hunt Valley Horsepower, Dulles Landing, Leesburg, just cars and coffees, taking pictures of cars and uploading some of my favorites, which led into me meeting people within the car community. Hey, can I take pictures of your car? Sure. Can I do this? Yeah. And then like they introduced me to other people. And eventually I met Will Bird, who's a writer for Hooniverse. And I knew him kind of. We met on the internet, and I've never met him. Turns out that he knew Sean of the Diesel record, which I didn't know until after the fact. But one day he's like, "Oh, I got the review car in for the week." And it was this beautiful black on brown Audi RS6 Avant. And he posts that and was like, "Hey, you know what would be funny? If you let me do a photo shoot with it." And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be neat." And 20 minutes later, I get a little ding on my phone and sure, let's do it. In that moment, I'm like, oh boy, this is the thing. I'm doing a photo shoot for a car review that I made a joke about thinking I would get a no or I wouldn't even get an answer. And he's like, absolutely. I know the perfect place. And I'm like, I don't. Where is it? Where are we going? And we eventually settled on Graffiti Alley in Baltimore, which is great. We drove, the car barely fit. We almost scraped mirrors both sides trying to get it down the alley because the RS6 is huge. It is a big car, and the alley is very small. The alley shot where I'm standing on the hood of my car at the time, looking down at the alley. You can almost see the mirrors hitting the walls. Like he is like driving head out the window, basically watching the mirror on that side. The girl who he was with was watching the mirror on it should not have worked as well as it did. And then after that, there was a semi-abandoned train station 5 minutes away. And it's semi-abandoned because they still use it as like a machine shop for the train car museum, but no one's ever there. I had made this joke that, oh, yeah, let's do it. And it turned into yeah, we can do the R6 shoot. We'll go here, we'll do that, we'll take pictures. Into what he basically gave me is a car review with a 55 pictures portfolio of here's all the RS6 pictures, and underneath of every cluster was photos by Mason. Photos by Mason. Mason took these. I'm just like, this is incredible. I did not expect this. While we were doing the RS6 shoot, he's like, I saw the reunion photos, I saw your cars and coffee photos. I like how you go detailed. I like your style of shooting, which was a humbling experience to say the least. Having someone that well regarded speak nicely of a hobby that you have done for maybe 2 years. Because the camera that I shoot on was a T8i by Canon. Nothing special by any means. And I bought it for the Southern Classic, which I ended up not making because of work and some things came up. So I just had this camera laying around that I was going to take, and I just decided to take it. This was also the camera that we took to Washington, D.C., because Haggerty used to run an event. It's back now, but they had to stop for a while called Cars on the Capitol, where there's this big glass box in the middle of the field overlooking the Capitol building. And they would cycle out cars every week. Amelia Earhart's Porsche is there. The Cannonball Countach is there, which is what I went for. Studebaker, the Hudson Hornet. All of their historical cars are put up in that box for a week on rotation. The DeLorean Time Machine was there. But because I'm a fan of Cannonball, as a lot of people are, seeing the Cannonball Countach was pretty high on my bucket list. So the Saturday that it went in the box, to begin, they had a special event. They had 3 or 4 different Countaches. Like the Cannonball car was there. They had 2 on that side, 1 on that side, behind velvet ropes, but they were fantastic. Not often you see 1 Countach, let alone 4, and the most famous Countach possibly. And we go up to the lady who's running it. I still have her business card that she gave me after the fact. And I'm like, hi, I'm Mason. I'm with the C2C Express. We're a group of modern cannonballers doing that. Immediately, she goes from business mode to, oh, you must know Ed Bolian then, because we worked on the Haggerty video. And at the time, I knew who Ed Bolian was, but I had never met him. This was before the musket ball when I had met him. He's like, you must know him. I'm like, yeah, Cannonball. Yes, definitely. Like, cool, what brings you here? I'm like, oh, it's the Countach. It's cool. And she's like, well, if you need anything, let me know. It's great. I'm happy to work with you guys because you guys are great people. And I'm like, oh, thank you. That's so nice. And go looking at the Countach. We start taking pictures of the other Countaches, get to meet the owners who were fantastic people. One guy drove his car from New York to DC, had it detailed on the car show, had it detailed after the show, and drove it back. He had like, I think 20,000, 30,000 miles. He drove it almost every day. And it was this white on white Wolf of Wall Street spec. Fantastic car. And talking with him, he's just like, I love the car. I don't fit in it very well, but driving it, it makes me smile. It makes other people smile. He didn't care what it was worth because he drove it, and he loved the car. And I'm taking pictures of him, his car. She walks back up. We can move those ropes if you want a better picture. And I'm thinking, oh, that'd be nice. Sure. And she unclips the rope, clips to the side. Go up to it. You can take pictures like up close. And I'm thinking, I just was on the phone with Ben Wilson 20 minutes before, and he's like, tell him when you go with the C2C Express. If that gets you closer to the cars, do it. Let him know. Just say that. And I'm like, okay, all right. Bye, Ben. I'm here. Like, send me all the pictures. I'm like, okay, will do. And go up, show that. Met Jay Roberts there, who was also knowing of the C2C Express, which we later got fake press credentials for and t-shirts at the Musketball Awards. They were just so accommodating to us. I feel so bad because it was made up 20 minutes before the photo shoot. And they loved it, though. It's, oh, you guys are doing this? When we found out it was still happening, we were so excited. And it's so cool what you're doing. And no one else there knew. We had the crossed out 55 shirts on. And the only other person who knew my shirt was Jay because he was wearing the same shirt. And no one else knew what the shirt meant. They didn't know what VINwiki was. They thought Alex Roy's M5 was a real police car because that was on the text. They were just there for the Countach. They didn't know the Cannonball. They didn't know the history. I think one of the guys asked me who Burt Reynolds was, and I almost had to leave before bad things happened. That was bad. But they had a refreshment stand, bagels, coffee, sign, limit one. If you want two, you can take two. Go ahead, have another coffee if you want. I'm like, oh. They took such good care of us, and we had made the whole thing up. And that is how we snuck onto the Countach shoot. And later that day, before I left, everyone else had gone. She's like, are you local? I'm like, yeah, I live in Baltimore. I'm like, it's an hour drive, but if it's something Countach, I'll do it. She's like, come by Saturday morning, 5 a.m. I'm like, that is really early. You want me to wake up at 3? We're taking the Countach out of the box. It's going to be driving away. You should come, you should see it start, you should see it drive. I'm like, I will do everything I could to be there. And sure enough, the guy who owned it, or someone told me, try not to take photos of this because something, one or another, but watching the car, the box opened, the car roars to life. Beautiful V12. Backs out, 12 exhaust pipes, 4 antennas just rolling down the ground. Oh my goodness. I will never forget seeing that car actually drive. That was so real. And she just like whispered it to me off to the side. And if it wasn't for Ben and Cannonball, that would not have happened. And that was so cool.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for yourself or the automotive enthusiast in your life this holiday season? Well, look no further than Celebrity Machines. They make metal stamped, screen accurate replicas of the license plates that you'll see on the cars in the movies and television shows that you love. They've got almost every one you could possibly imagine. And in fact, if you've gotten one of our Car Trek license plates or the Japanese license plate from my Lamborghini Diablo SV, those were also from Travis. So you may already have some Celebrity Machines license plates hanging up in your garage or in the background of your Zoom calls. But regardless, check them out now. If you go to the link in the description below or use the code VINwiki at checkout, they're going to give you 20% off of your order. So check them out now, get some great gifts, and thank them for their support of VINwiki.